The text message that destroyed my marriage arrived at 2:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. I know the exact time because I was lying awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to my wife Megan's phone buzz incessantly on her nightstand. If loyalty was a stock, I'd be broke by now. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. Chris, can you please turn that damn thing off? Megan mumbled into her pillow, not bothering to reach for it herself. Classic Megan, always someone else's problem to solve. I rolled over and grabbed her phone, intending to silence it. The screen lit up with notifications from a group chat called Girls Gone Wild Tuesday. The preview text made me freeze. Alex says Chris probably cries during closeness. Poor little man doesn't even know what's coming. My hands trembled as I set the phone back down. 39 years old, and I was learning about my wife's affair through a group chat with her gossipy friends. The irony wasn't lost on me. I was an IT project manager who'd been debugging other people's problems for 15 years, but I couldn't see the malware in my own marriage. The next morning, Megan bounced around the kitchen like nothing had happened. She wore her favorite red dress, the one I'd bought her for our 3rd anniversary. The same dress she'd probably worn for him. "Morning, babe," she chirped, barely looking up from her phone. "I'm meeting the girls for lunch today. Janet found this new place downtown." "Today's our anniversary," I said quietly, pouring coffee into my favorite mug, a gift from Emily, Megan's stepsister, who actually remembered things that mattered. Megan paused, her thumb hovering over her screen. "Oh, right. Well, we can do something tomorrow. The girls already made reservations." I nodded, taking a sip of coffee that suddenly tasted like ash. "Sure. Tomorrow." She kissed my cheek, a perfunctory peck that felt like a business transaction, and headed for the door. "Love you," she called back, already typing another message. After she left, I sat in our kitchen, surrounded by the remnants of a life I'd thought was real. The granite countertops we'd picked out together, the wedding photos on the refrigerator, the anniversary card I'd hidden in my desk drawer upstairs, now feeling like evidence of my own stupidity. My phone rang. Emily. "Hey, Chris, how are you holding up?" Emily always seemed to know when something was wrong. At 32, she was everything her stepsister wasn't: genuine, thoughtful, present. She'd been a nurse for 8 years, which meant she had a 6th sense for detecting when someone was bleeding, even when the wounds weren't visible. "It's our anniversary," I said, the words coming out flat. "I know. I saw it on my calendar. Are you two doing something special?" "She's having lunch with the girls." The silence on Emily's end spoke volumes. "Chris, I'm sorry." "It's fine. Really. Just another Tuesday." "No, it's not fine. You deserve better than that." I closed my eyes, remembering the text message. Alex says Chris probably cries during closeness. Do I, though? Maybe I'm exactly what I deserve. Stop that. You're a good man, Chris. You've been nothing but loyal and kind to her for 6 years. If she can't see that, it's her loss. After we hung up, I made a decision that would change everything. I drove to the jewelry store where I'd bought Megan's engagement ring and purchased a beautiful silver necklace with a small diamond pendant. Not for Megan. She'd made her priorities clear. For Emily. That evening, I found Emily at her apartment, just getting off a 12-hour shift at the hospital. She looked exhausted, but smiled when she saw me at her door. "Chris, what are you doing here?" "I wanted to give this to someone who would actually appreciate it." I handed her the small velvet box. Her eyes widened as she opened it. "Chris, this is beautiful, but I can't. It's my anniversary gift. I bought it for someone I care about, someone who remembers important dates and answers when I call, someone who gives a damn." Tears welled up in her eyes as she let me fasten the necklace around her neck. "Thank you. This is the most thoughtful gift anyone's ever given me." I pulled out my phone and took a photo of her smiling, the necklace catching the light. Mind if I post this? I want people to know I'm celebrating with someone who actually cares. She nodded, and I uploaded the photo to Instagram with the caption, "Celebrating with someone who actually cares. Anniversary upgrade. Chacha worth it." Within an hour, the post had 50 likes and a dozen comments. By the next morning, it had gone viral in our social circle. My phone buzzed constantly with notifications, friend requests, and messages from people I hadn't heard from in years. But the message that mattered most came from Megan at 11:30 a.m. "We need to talk. Now." Megan stormed through our front door like a hurricane in heels. Her face was flushed with rage, her perfectly styled hair slightly disheveled from what I assumed was a frantic drive home from work. "What the hell is this?" She shoved her phone in my face, showing my Instagram post. The photo of Emily wearing the necklace had over 300 likes now, and the comments section was a battlefield of speculation and gossip. "It's a photo," I said calmly, not looking up from my laptop where I was reviewing project timelines. "You know, those digital images people share on social media? Don't be a smartass, Chris. You know exactly what this looks like." "What does it look like, Megan?" She paced around our living room like a caged animal. "It looks like you're having an affair with my stepsister." The irony was so thick I could cut it with a knife. "That's interesting. Tell me, what does an affair look like to you? I'm asking for a friend." Her eyes narrowed. "What's that supposed to mean?" I closed my laptop and finally looked at her. Really looked at her. The woman I'd married 6 years ago had been beautiful, ambitious, and charming. The woman standing in front of me now was still beautiful, but the charm had curdled into manipulation, and her ambition had become a weapon she used against anyone who got in her way. "It means I know about Alex." The color drained from her face, but she recovered quickly. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Alex Morrison, personal trainer at Elite Fitness, drives a red Camaro, has a tattoo of a wolf on his left shoulder. Ring any bells?" "You're being paranoid, Chris. Just because I have male friends doesn't mean—" "Friends don't usually discuss their friends' private performance with their group chat." Now she went completely pale. "You went through my phone?" "Your phone went through me. All night long. Buzz, buzz, buzz." "Alex says Chris probably cries during closeness. That was my personal favorite. Really showed the depth of respect you have for our marriage." Megan sank onto the couch, her defiance crumbling. "Chris, I can explain—" "Please do. I'm dying to hear this." She took a shaky breath. "It started as just flirting. Harmless fun. You've been so distant lately, so focused on work. So you decided to get focused on Alex's abs? It's not what you think. We haven't actually done anything." I pulled out my phone and opened the screenshots I'd taken of her group chat messages. Really, because according to this conversation from last Thursday, and I quote, "OMG girls, Alex is incredible. 3 times in one afternoon. I can barely walk." End quote. What exactly were you doing that made walking difficult? Discussing fitness routines? Her mask finally slipped completely. The sweet, apologetic expression vanished, replaced by cold calculation. "Fine. You want the truth? Yes, I'm seeing Alex. Yes, we're sleeping together. And yes, he's everything you're not." "Which is?" "Exciting, passionate, present. When's the last time you surprised me with anything? When's the last time you made me feel wanted?" "I surprised you with an anniversary dinner reservation at Chez Laurent. You canceled for girls' night." "That's not the same thing, and you know it." I stood up, feeling strangely calm. "You're right, it's not the same thing. An anniversary dinner is something a husband does for his wife. What Alex does for you is something entirely different. Don't you dare judge me. You have no idea what it's like being married to someone who treats marriage like a project to be managed instead of a relationship to be lived. And you have no idea what it's like being married to someone who treats marriage like a cover story while she shops for upgrades." My phone buzzed with a text from my best friend Mark. "Dude, your Instagram post is everywhere. People are calling you a legend. Also, we need to talk. Call me. Megan saw me reading the message. This is just perfect. Now everyone's going to think I'm the villain. Aren't you? We both made mistakes, Chris. The difference is I'm not parading mine on social media for the world to see. No, you're just parading yours at the gym, at girls' night, and apparently in group chats with detailed performance reviews. She stood up, smoothing her dress. I want a divorce. Okay. She blinked, clearly expecting more of a fight. Okay? Yeah, okay. I'll have my lawyer call your lawyer. We can divide everything up nice and neat. You can move in with Alex and his wolf tattoo, and I can move on with my life. What about the house? What about it? I want half. I smiled for the first time in weeks. Of course you do. We'll let the lawyers figure that out. After she left, presumably to run to Alex for comfort, I called Mark. Holy shit, Chris. Your post broke the internet, at least our corner of it. Mark Rodriguez had been my best friend since college. He'd spent 10 years as a cop before starting his own security consulting business. If anyone could help me navigate this mess, it was him. It gets worse. I told him about the affair, the group chat, and Megan's reaction to being caught. Jesus, I'm sorry, man, but honestly, you're better off without her. Yeah, well, tell that to our bank account. She wants half of everything. About that, I might have some information that could help. Can you meet me at Murphy's bar in an hour? What kind of information? The kind that makes divorces a lot more interesting. Murphy's bar was the kind of place where divorced men went to drink away their alimony payments and failed dreams. The lighting was dim, the music was classic rock, and the bartender minded his own business. Perfect for the conversation Mark and I needed to have. Okay, lay it on me, I said, sliding into the booth across from him. Mark opened a manila folder and spread several photographs across the table. Alex Morrison, age 41. Personal trainer, part-time model, full-time scumbag. The photos showed Alex at various locations around town. The gym, restaurants, his apartment complex. Please tell me you didn't hire a private investigator. I didn't hire anyone. I took these myself. Call it a hobby. Mark had always been protective of his friends, sometimes to a fault. Here's what's interesting. Alex has been juggling at least 3 different women over the past 6 months. He slid another photo across the table. Alex was kissing a blonde woman outside a coffee shop. That's Jennifer Walsh. Divorced, works at the bank downtown. He's been seeing her since March. Another photo. Alex with a brunette at a restaurant. Sarah Chen, marketing executive, started seeing her in April. And Megan makes 3, I said, studying the images. Actually, Megan makes 4. There's also this one. The final photo showed Alex with a redhead I didn't recognize. Lisa Murphy. Yes, same last name as this bar but no relation to the owner. She's a real estate agent. Been seeing Alex since February. I leaned back in the booth, processing this information. So he's running a full rotation. Gets better. Guess what they all have in common? They're all idiots. They're all married or recently divorced, and they're all financially well off. Alex isn't just a player, he's a professional. This is his business model. The implications hit me like a truck. Megan doesn't know about the others. None of them know about the others. Alex is very careful about compartmentalizing. Different days, different locations, different social circles. How did you figure this out? Mark grinned. After your Instagram post went viral, I got curious about who your wife was cheating with. Did some basic research, found his social media profiles, started tracking his patterns. The guy's got a system, but he's not as smart as he thinks he is. I studied the photos again. What's his endgame? Near as I can tell, he gets them emotionally invested, then starts asking for favors, small loans that never get repaid, help with his rent when he's between clients. Jennifer Walsh has been paying his car insurance for 2 months. And if they get suspicious or try to leave, Mark pulled out his phone and showed me a series of text messages. He's got dirt on all of them. Compromising photos, recordings of conversations, details about their marriages and divorces. Classic manipulation tactics. My phone buzzed with a notification. Someone had tagged me in a comment on my Instagram post. I opened it and saw that the photo of Emily wearing the anniversary necklace now had over 1,000 likes and dozens of comments. Most were supportive, but a few were clearly from Megan's friends. I Janet Crawford, 22. This is so inappropriate. Some people have no class. A Marie K. Fitness. Poor Megan. She deserves so much better. Annie Rogers, 8. Chris always seemed like the type to cheat. Just saying. Look at this. I showed Mark the comments. Megan's flying monkeys. They're trying to control the narrative. He scrolled through more comments. But it's not working. Look at the responses. He was right. For every negative comment from Megan's friends, there were 5 positive responses from other people. Sarah J. Nurse, good for you. Life's too short to be unappreciated. Mike from accounting, legend status achieved. Linda P. teacher. Emily is lucky to have someone who values her. Your post isn't just viral, Mark said. It's become a symbol. People are projecting their own relationship frustrations onto it. Great. I'm accidentally a relationship guru. Could be worse. You could be Alex, juggling 4 affairs and thinking you're smart enough not to get caught. I looked at the photos again, an idea forming in my mind. What if we made sure Megan found out about the other women? What do you mean? I mean, what if Megan discovered she wasn't Alex's only side piece? How do you think she'd react? Mark's eyes lit up with understanding. She'd be furious. Megan's always been possessive even in high school. Remember when she dated Tommy Chen and found out he was also taking Sarah Martinez to movies? She keyed his car and put sugar in his gas tank. Exactly. And that was over high school dating. This is her grand affair, her escape from boring married life. Finding out she's just another mark in Alex's rotation would destroy her. I finished my beer, feeling the first stirrings of a plan. How would we make sure she finds out? Leave that to me. I've got some ideas. As we left Murphy's bar, my phone rang. Emily. Chris, are you okay? I've been getting messages all day about your Instagram post. People are saying Megan's furious. She is. She asked for a divorce. Oh, Chris, I'm so sorry. This is my fault. I shouldn't have let you post that photo. Emily, stop. This isn't your fault. This is the best thing that could have happened. I found out she's been cheating on me. The silence on the other end of the line stretched for several seconds. Are you sure? Completely sure. And now I'm going to make sure she finds out exactly what kind of man she threw away her marriage for. What do you mean? I looked at Mark, who nodded encouragingly. I mean, Alex isn't quite the prize she thinks he is, and I think it's time she learned the truth. Chris, please be careful. I know you're hurt and angry, but don't do anything that could get you in trouble. Don't worry. I'm not going to do anything illegal. I'm just going to make sure the truth comes out. After I hung up, Mark clapped me on the shoulder. Ready to go to war? I've been ready since 2:47 a.m. Tuesday morning. The plan was elegant in its simplicity. Mark had discovered that Alex used the same coffee shop every Thursday morning to meet his various girlfriends. Different times, same location. Jennifer Walsh at 7 a.m., Sarah Chen at 9 a.m., and Megan at 11 a.m. Lisa Murphy got Friday mornings. He's got it down to a science, Mark explained as we sat in his car across the street from Grind Coffee House. Same booth, same routine. Orders for 2, waits for his date, plays the devoted boyfriend for an hour, then moves on to the next appointment. It was Thursday, 10:45 a.m. We'd already watched Alex's 9 a.m. meeting with Sarah Chen wrap up. She'd left looking smitten, probably thinking she was the only woman in his life. Now we were waiting for Megan to arrive for her 11 a.m. slot. There she is, Mark said, pointing to Megan's silver BMW pulling into the parking lot. I watched my wife of 6 years walk into the coffee shop, wearing the black dress I'd complimented her on just last week. She'd told me she was wearing it to a work presentation. Apparently, Alex was her presentation. Phase 1, Mark said, pulling out his phone. He'd programmed Jennifer Walsh's number into his contacts earlier that week. Jennifer? Hi, this is Mark Rodriguez from Elite Fitness. I'm calling because we've had some concerns raised about one of our trainers, Alex Morrison. Would you be available to meet with our management team this morning to discuss your relationship with him? I could hear Jennifer's confused voice through the phone, but couldn't make out the words. I understand this is sudden, but we've received some complaints, and we need to address them immediately. Could you meet us at Grind Coffee House in 15 minutes? Alex will be there to address the situation directly. More confused sounds from Jennifer. Thank you. We'll see you soon. Mark hung up and immediately dialed Sarah Chen's number. He repeated the same script, explaining that Elite Fitness needed to speak with her about Alex Morrison immediately. Think they'll show up? I asked. Jennifer will definitely show up. She's been paying his car insurance. She's invested. Sarah's more independent, but she's also the type who doesn't like being lied to. 50-50 on her. We didn't have to wait long. At 11:07, Jennifer Walsh's white Honda pulled into the parking lot. She sat in her car for a moment, probably trying to figure out why the gym wanted to meet her at a coffee shop, then walked inside. Through the large windows, we could see the exact moment she spotted Alex sitting with Megan. Jennifer stopped in the middle of the coffee shop, her face cycling through confusion, recognition, and then fury. Here we go, Mark said, pulling out his phone to record. Jennifer marched over to Alex's table. We couldn't hear the conversation, but we could see the body language. Jennifer pointing at Megan, Alex looking panicked, Megan looking confused, and then increasingly angry as the situation became clear. And there's Sarah, I said, spotting the brunette walking through the coffee shop door. Sarah took in the scene immediately. Alex at a table with 2 women, one of whom was clearly furious, the other looking betrayed and confused. Being a marketing executive, Sarah was probably used to reading rooms quickly. She walked over to the table and said something that made all 3 of them look up at her. Alex's face went completely white. I wish we could hear this conversation, Mark said. We didn't need to hear it. The body language told the whole story. Sarah was calm and controlled, asking questions. Jennifer was animated and angry, clearly detailing her relationship with Alex. Megan was sitting in stunned silence as the reality of her situation became clear. Alex tried to stand up, probably to leave, but Jennifer grabbed his arm and pulled him back down. Sarah sat down uninvited and crossed her arms, clearly not done with the conversation. Your wife just found out she's not the special one, Mark observed. Look at her face. Megan's expression had gone from confusion to embarrassment to rage. She was staring at Alex with the same look she'd given me when she found out about the Instagram post, but magnified by about 1,000. Then Megan did something I didn't expect. She stood up, picked up Alex's coffee cup, and poured it over his head. The entire coffee shop turned to watch as Alex jumped up, dripping with coffee, while 3 women stood around him in various states of anger and disgust. Jennifer was laughing. Sarah was shaking her head. Megan was already walking toward the exit. That's my cue, I said, getting out of Mark's car. I intercepted Megan in the parking lot. She was walking fast, her heels clicking on the asphalt, her face flushed with humiliation and rage. Megan! She spun around, and for a moment I thought she might pour coffee on me too. Did you know? Know what? Don't play dumb, Chris. Did you know about the other women? I considered lying, but decided the truth would be more effective. I found out yesterday. And you didn't tell me? Why would I tell you? You made it very clear that your relationship with Alex was none of my business. You said he was everything I wasn't. Turns out you were right. I would never juggle 4 different women while lying to all of them. 4? Her voice cracked. There's a redhead named Lisa, real estate agent. She gets Friday mornings. Megan leaned against her car, looking like she might be sick. I'm such an idiot. Yes, you are, but not for the reasons you think. She looked up at me. What do you mean? You're an idiot for throwing away a marriage with someone who was faithful to you for 6 years, who remembered your birthday and your anniversary and your favorite coffee order. You're an idiot for trading that for a guy who sees you as appointment number 3 on his Thursday morning schedule. Chris, I'm not finished. You're an idiot for humiliating me in front of our friends, for making me feel like I wasn't good enough, for making me question my own worth. But mostly, you're an idiot for thinking that what we had was so worthless that it was worth destroying for a few Thursday morning coffee dates with a professional con artist. Tears were running down her face now. I never meant for it to go this far. But it did go this far, and now everyone knows. Your friends, your co-workers, our neighbors. Everyone knows that Megan Thompson traded her marriage for a timeshare in a player's rotation. What do you want from me, Chris? You want me to beg? You want me to apologize? I looked at my wife, soon-to-be ex-wife, standing in a coffee shop parking lot, her makeup running, her perfect image shattered. 6 months ago, seeing her cry would have broken my heart. Now I felt nothing but a cold satisfaction. I don't want anything from you, Megan. I got everything I needed when I posted that photo of Emily wearing the anniversary gift you were too busy to accept. I got to remember what it feels like to be appreciated. I started walking back to Mark's car, then turned around. Oh, and Megan? You might want to get tested. If Alex is running 4 women simultaneously, there's no telling what else he's sharing. The look of horror on her face was the last thing I saw before I got back in Mark's car. How do you feel? Mark asked as we drove away. Like I'd just watched someone get exactly what they deserved. And what about Emily? I thought about Emily, kind, genuine Emily, who'd been nothing but supportive through all of this. What about her? You realize half the internet thinks you two are having an affair, right? Are we? Mark glanced at me. Are you? I don't know. But I know I'd rather be accused of having an affair with someone I care about than actually have an affair with someone I don't. My phone buzzed with a text from Emily. I just heard about what happened at the coffee shop. Are you okay? I texted back, never better. Want to get dinner tonight? Somewhere public where people can see us together. Her response came immediately. Yes. But are you sure you're ready for people to talk? Emily, people are already talking. Let's give them something worth talking about. 3 weeks later, I was sitting in my lawyer's office, reviewing the final divorce papers. Megan's affair with Alex had made the proceedings surprisingly straightforward. In our state, adultery affected asset division, and Megan's lawyer had advised her to accept a settlement rather than fight it in court. She's agreed to your terms, my lawyer Patricia Williams said. You keep the house, the retirement accounts, and your business assets. She gets her car, her personal belongings, and a small settlement payment. What about alimony? Given the circumstances of the marriage's dissolution, she's waived her right to alimony. I signed the papers, feeling lighter than I had in years. That's it? That's it. You'll be officially divorced in 30 days. Outside the law office, Mark was waiting in his car. How did it go? Better than I expected. She's not fighting anything. I think the coffee shop incident broke something in her. Guilt? Pride. Megan could handle being caught cheating, but she couldn't handle being exposed as a fool. We drove to Emily's apartment, where she was making dinner for the 3 of us. Over the past 3 weeks, Emily and I had been spending more time together, not hiding, not sneaking around, just enjoying each other's company. The internet had declared us a couple, and we'd stopped correcting people. How did the lawyer meeting go? Emily asked, giving me a hug as I walked into her kitchen. It's over. 30 days and I'm officially a free man. How do you feel? Relieved, grateful, ready to move forward. Emily smiled and went back to stirring the pasta sauce. She was wearing the diamond necklace I'd given her. She'd worn it every day since that first night. I have some news too. Good news? I got the promotion. Head nurse for the cardiac unit. Mark raised his beer bottle. Congratulations. That's huge. It is, and it comes with a significant raise, which means I can finally afford to buy my own place. I felt a strange disappointment. You're moving out of this apartment? Well, I was hoping, if you're interested, maybe we could look for a place together. The question hung in the air between us. Mark discreetly excused himself to the bathroom, giving us privacy. Emily, are you sure? I'm not even divorced yet. People are already talking about us. If we move in together... Chris, I don't care what people say. I care about you. I've cared about you for years, if I'm being honest. I never said anything because you were married to my stepsister, but now I don't want to waste any more time pretending I don't have feelings for you. I pulled her into my arms and kissed her. It was nothing like kissing Megan. There was no performance, no calculation, just genuine affection and connection. Yes, I said. Let's find a place together. My phone buzzed with a notification. Someone had tagged me in a new Instagram post. I opened it and saw that Alex Morrison had posted a long, rambling message about fake friends and jealous husbands and lies and manipulation. The post had 3 likes and dozens of comments, most of them from the women he'd been juggling, calling him out with specific details about his lies and manipulation. Alex is having a public meltdown. I showed Emily and Mark the post. Good, Emily said. He deserves it. What about Megan? Mark asked. Have you heard from her? She texted me yesterday. She's staying with her friend Janet until she finds her own place. She wanted to apologize. Did you respond? I told her I accepted her apology, but that we were done. No friendship, no staying in touch, no trying to work things out. Clean break. Emily squeezed my hand. That must have been hard. It was the easiest text I've ever sent. We spent the evening looking at apartment listings online, planning our future together. It felt surreal. 3 weeks ago, I'd been a cheated-on husband posting passive-aggressive Instagram photos. Now I was planning to move in with a woman who actually loved and appreciated me. As Mark was leaving, he pulled me aside. You know this is going to cause drama, right? Megan's not going to take this well. Megan lost the right to have opinions about my life when she started sleeping with Alex. I'm not talking about legal rights. I'm talking about family drama. Emily's still her stepsister. Their parents are going to get involved. Let them. Emily and I aren't doing anything wrong. I know that. You know that. But Megan's going to spin this as you having an affair with her sister while you were still married. Let her spin it however she wants. The truth is out there. Everyone knows what really happened. Mark nodded, but I could see the concern in his eyes. Just be prepared for one last fight. Megan doesn't go down quietly. He was right, of course. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls and 43 text messages. Megan had spent the night sending me increasingly unhinged messages. I can't believe you're moving in with my sister. This is so inappropriate. The divorce isn't even final. You're doing this just to hurt me. Emily is just using you to get back at me for something that happened years ago. Everyone thinks you two were having an affair while we were married. You've ruined my relationship with my family. I hope you're happy. You've destroyed everything. The final message, sent at 4:17 a.m., was the most telling. I made a mistake with Alex. I know that now. But we can fix this. We can go to counseling. We can start over. Please don't do this with Emily. Please don't replace me with her. I showed the messages to Emily over breakfast. She's desperate, Emily said, reading through them. She's realizing what she lost. Too late for that? Is it, though? If you wanted to try to work things out with her. I looked at Emily. Beautiful, kind, supportive Emily. and wondered how she could even ask that question. Emily, do you really think I would want to go back to someone who cheated on me, lied to me, humiliated me in front of our friends, and then only wanted me back when she realized her affair partner was using her? No, I guess not. I don't want you to choose me because you're angry at her. I want you to choose me because you want to be with me. I reached across the table and took her hand. Emily, I'm choosing you because you're the first person in years who's made me feel like I'm worth something. I'm choosing you because you remember my birthday and answer when I call and actually listen when I talk. I'm choosing you because being with you feels like coming home. She smiled, tears in her eyes. Okay, but we should probably talk to my parents before they hear about this from Megan. Agreed. When do you want to do that? How about Sunday dinner? They're expecting both of us anyway. Sunday dinner at Emily's parents' house was a monthly tradition I'd been participating in for 6 years. Emily's mother, Linda, was a retired teacher who treated me like the son she'd never had. Her father, Robert, was a mechanic who appreciated my practical approach to problem solving. They'd always liked me more than they liked Megan, though they'd been too polite to say so. Chris, Emily, Linda greeted us at the door with hugs. How are you two holding up? We heard about the divorce. We're doing well, Mom, Emily said. Actually, we have some news. We sat down in the living room and Emily explained our relationship and our plans to move in together. I watched her parents' faces carefully, looking for signs of disapproval or concern. Well, Robert said after Emily finished talking, I can't say I'm surprised. You're not? I asked. Son, I've been watching you two at these dinners for years. The way you look at each other, the way you talk to each other. I always wondered why you married Megan instead of Emily. Linda nodded. Emily's had feelings for you since the day Megan brought you home. We could see it, even if you couldn't. You're not upset about the timing? Emily asked. I mean, Chris is still technically married to Megan. Honey, your stepsister made her choices. She chose to have an affair instead of working on her marriage. She chose to humiliate Chris publicly. She chose to throw away a good man for a player who was using her. You didn't cause any of that. What about family relationships? I asked. I don't want to cause problems between Emily and Megan. Robert laughed. Chris, Megan and Emily haven't had a real relationship in years. Megan's always been jealous of Emily, jealous of her career, her independence, her kindness. This isn't going to make things worse because things were already as bad as they could get. As if summoned by our conversation, the doorbell rang. Linda went to answer it, and we heard Megan's voice in the hallway. Hi, Linda. I need to talk to Emily and Chris. I know they're here. Emily and I exchanged glances. Here we go, she whispered. Megan walked into the living room looking like she hadn't slept in days. Her hair was unwashed, her clothes were wrinkled, and her eyes were red from crying. We need to talk, she said, looking between Emily and me. Megan, Robert said firmly, I think you should— It's okay, I said, standing up. Let her say whatever she came here to say. Megan looked around the room at all of us, then focused on Emily. How could you do this to me? How could you steal my husband? I didn't steal anyone, Emily replied calmly. You threw him away. He was still my husband when you started your little affair. We didn't have an affair, I said. We didn't even kiss until after I filed for divorce. But you had feelings for her. You were emotionally cheating. You're right. I did have feelings for Emily. You know when I realized that? When I was sitting in our kitchen on our anniversary, drinking coffee alone because you were too busy with your actual affair to remember that we were married. I made a mistake with Alex. I know that now. But we can fix this. No, we can't. Why? Because of her? Megan pointed at Emily. No, because of you. Because you looked me in the eye and told me Alex was everything I wasn't. Because you humiliated me in front of our friends. Because you made me feel like I was worthless. Emily didn't make me realize I deserved better. You did. Megan started crying. I was confused. I was going through something. I wasn't thinking clearly. You were thinking clearly enough to plan secret meetings, lie about your whereabouts, and discuss our private life in group chats with your friends. Please, Chris, I love you. No, you don't. You love the idea of winning. You love the idea of not losing to your stepsister. But you don't love me. If you loved me, you never would have cheated in the first place. Emily stood up and took my hand. Megan, I'm sorry you're hurting. But Chris and I aren't responsible for your pain. You are. This is all wrong, Megan said, looking around the room desperately. Linda, Robert, tell them this is wrong. Tell them they can't do this. Linda spoke gently but firmly. Megan, honey, you made your choice when you decided to have an affair. You can't expect Chris to wait around while you figure out what you want. But she's my sister. Stepsister, Emily corrected. And I've been nothing but supportive of your marriage for 6 years. I never said a word about my feelings for Chris, never tried to interfere, never caused any problems. I can't help how I feel, but I can control how I act. And I've acted with integrity throughout this entire situation. This is revenge, Megan said, her sadness turning back to anger. You're both doing this to get back at me. Megan, I said, if I wanted revenge, I would have posted screenshots of your group chat messages online. I would have sent them to your boss, your coworkers, your friends' husbands. I would have made sure everyone knew exactly what kind of person you really are. But I didn't do any of that, because revenge would require me to care about you enough to want to hurt you. And I don't. The room fell silent. Megan stared at me for a long moment, and I could see the exact moment she realized she'd lost. I hope you're happy together, she said finally, her voice bitter. We will be, Emily replied. After Megan left, we finished dinner with Emily's parents, making plans for our apartment search and discussing our future. It felt good to be planning a life with someone who actually wanted to be part of it. Later that night, as Emily and I were lying in bed, she asked me the question I'd been expecting. Do you think we're doing the right thing? What do you mean? Moving so fast. Moving in together when your divorce isn't even final yet. I thought about it for a moment. Emily, I wasted 6 years of my life in a marriage with someone who didn't value me. I'm not going to waste another day pretending I don't know what I want. And what do you want? I want to wake up next to someone who's happy to see me. I want to come home to someone who actually wants me there. I want to build a life with someone who sees that life as a gift, not a burden. And you think I'm that person? I know you are. She curled up against me, and I felt more content than I had in years. My phone was on silent, but I could see it lighting up with notifications, probably more messages from Megan, or comments on social media, or updates from the ongoing Alex Morrison drama. I didn't check any of them. For the first time in months, I had more important things to think about than other people's opinions or my ex-wife's regrets. I was thinking about the future, about the apartment Emily and I would find together, about the life we would build, about waking up every morning next to someone who chose me not because I was convenient or safe or available, but because I was worth choosing. 6 months ago, if someone had told me my marriage would end with my wife's affair being exposed in a coffee shop confrontation while I fell in love with her stepsister, I would have thought they were describing a soap opera. Now I realized they would have been describing the best thing that ever happened to me.